Blessings everyone, this is Chris Kendall from therawadvantage.com, registered holistic nutritionist, raw food lifestyle coach, and raw chef extraordinaire. What do we have here? Quite possibly the most delicious raw cinnamon buns in the world. We're going to get cracking on this. You want to learn how to make this? You want to make these at home? You want to make these for your own lunch? Let's get into it.
Baby, I like it raw. Raw Advantage likes it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Hey.
Ooh, so if you want some more delicious sweet recipes like these, check out the link below and get 2 free ebooks by simply going to my website. Super sweet treats plus 10 sure shot ways to drastically improve your health. Desserts you can eat as a meal. Super sweet treats in your inbox. Alright, so we're going to make some raw cinnamon buns. Quite possibly the most delicious raw cinnamon buns out there. Now, I want to give credit where credit's due. My friend Robert Kornacki, he is the originator of the raw cinnamon buns. Check him out right here, Robert Kornacki. Dope stuff, awesome fun. And last year at my Raw Food and Yoga Surf Adventure Retreat with Miss Naturally Ashley, we actually came up with this rendition and kind of made it into an ultimate raw vegan cinnamon bun. So you guys ready for it? What's in a raw vegan cinnamon bun? Well, first and foremost, plantains. You want pretty ripe plantains. Now, if you don't know how to ripen plantains back home, check out this video right here on my favorite fall fruits. It's an old one, but brings up some neat things about plantains. Interestingly enough, when you're in the tropics, you can get away with them being a little less ripe and still being pretty good and plump because they pick them a little later. Back home, you got to get them really black. Again, more in the video here. If you can't find plantains, you could also use cuadrados or filipitas or burro bananas. What you really want is a very thick banana. That's why I'm using the plantains. They're almost double the calories per volume of bananas, and they're just way thicker. These are a little less than fully ripe, and what they'll do is make it a little bit of a less sweet batter. You can have them really black and ripe for really sweet. So we have about 7 of those. We may use up to 9. Don't go by numbers, go by volume. We're looking to basically fill the Vitamix almost all the way up to the top. Trusty Vitamix blender. You want a Vitamix. It's the best blender out there. Definitely helps with this. Otherwise, you're going to be using a food processor or having a bit of trouble. Otherwise, we're also going to be having some dates. So these are beautiful Bari dates, just shy of a pound, probably about like 0.9 of a pound of Bari dates. You can use Majules. They work really good. Just make sure you pit them. We're not using those tonight. Those will be tomorrow. We have about 3/4 of a cup of raisins. You want to get good quality raisins, nice and neat. We have 1/4 cup of chia seeds. This will be the thickening agent. This is really important. Without this, they become more like banana crepes. With the chia, it makes it a little bit fluffy. It actually is like a nice fluffy kind of bready texture. We also have some cinnamon, and we have 2 coconuts. One the water and the meat, and one just the jelly here. So you want about this thickness to a jelly thickness. If it's much thinner than this, you might need 3 coconuts. This recipe here is going to make us anywhere between 9 to 12 cinnamon buns depending on how thick you make them, but you are also of course going to need a dehydrator. I absolutely recommend the Excalibur dehydrator. Here's one of those Excalibur Teflex sheets. You can actually get your own Excalibur through my portal right here. Check that out. Shameless. Let's get started and get into it. We're going to take these plantains, peel them, and we're just going to put about 3 or 4 plantains in the bottom of the blender. Chop them up, it's a lot easier on the blender.
Be careful. I'll be careful, Jake. I'll be careful, you be careful. I'll be careful, you be careful. I'm gonna be careful.
Ooh. That was scary. Alright, so now we're going to put the chia in there. And the reason why we're putting the chia in now is so that we can blend it down without bogging out the mortar. If we fill it all the way up and then put the chia, you're going to have a harder time blending the chia smooth, and you want it to be nice and smooth. Here we go. Now you want to get violent with this thing. You want to get violent. You want to go crazy with this thing. So let's go. Alright, so that's going to be really thick. Now we're just going to fill it all the way to the top with the rest of these. As a side point, right now it's about 9 o'clock. I usually make this recipe around this time, anywhere between 8 and 10 at night, so that I can have it ready the next day by between 10:30 and noon. It's a really heavy calorie-rich meal, so it's really nice to have for a lunch meal. And you can serve it with a whole bunch of different things, some celery slaw or some banana ice cream or whatever the heck you want.
Fuck you, Chris.
Should I deep throat it?
Yes. Remember last year when I was like, put the camera on myself and it was like, ah! Like,
You can do that again. Alright, so we got all 7 in there and it's actually perfect. You might need more depending on the size of your plantains. Woo! You just go with it, you know, just go. Alright, let's go for it. Blend it up. Just double check, make sure there's no giant chunks. Oh, there's one giant chunk there. And that's it. Now, at this point, if you want, you could also blend in some vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon. You could even do some carob and make some like chocolate cinnamon buns, you know, whatever the heck you want. Get crazy with it. Enjoy it, you know. This is just the basic batter. You want it to be just shy of 2 liters. Much more than that, you're gonna have a hard time. So you have this Excalibur tray, and the entire thing goes on one sheet. Crazy, right? Holy cow, can you believe it? And you want to get a really nice straight or flat knife. You can just use this to kind of fold into the center, almost like a card. I'm going to slowly make it almost the entire size of the sheet. It's really scary sometimes that you think it's just going to blob all over and get over, but as long as you put in the chia seeds and you're using thick bananas, it's going to stay nice and thick like this. And you can bring it right to almost the edge. Look how thick that is. It's crazy. It's like almost a ½ inch, probably about like for sure a good 1/3 inch at least. So we're gonna plop that into the dehydrator at 115 to 119 max. Leave it overnight. There you go. Got some banana dongs in there too.
Wee, banana dong. Yay!
Alright, so right before we go to bed, we're going to prep for the sauce and for the icing. This is just a local Costa Rican coconut. We're at the Farm of Life, Dr. Sam's Retreat. Awesomeness. But you can also just use a young Thai coconut. I'm going to open this up really quick. We're going to dump the coconut water over top of the raisins. Let it soak. That way in the morning we're going to have really plump hydrated raisins and super sweet coconut raisin water to mix with the dates to make the paste to put inside the cinnamon roll. So we're going to put this in the fridge so that it doesn't turn or go kind of crazy. And then tomorrow we'll make the paste and the icing to make the cinnamon rolls just stick together. It can be really good. Oh yeah, you're ready for it. Bedtime.
Bedtime, yay! Yay, sleep.
Alright, so we're back, and it's been about 10 hours since I put them in the dehydrator. Look, it didn't run over the sides, it's nice and thick, it's still beautiful. And if I was to touch it, it's a little bit cakey. I wouldn't want to like squish my fingers in there because there's a little bit of moisture on the inside. So what we're going to do is take another dehydrator sheet, place it on top, give it a little flip, take this off carefully, and then you want to really slowly take off this. If you do it a little bit too early, you're going to have a really hard time taking it off. But if it's done perfectly, look at that. Check this out. It's like, you can see the bubbles. It's almost like a real pancake. There's a little bit of that bubbliness in there. So what we want to do now is just lightly trim off the edges. So we'll trim a little bit here. You don't want to put too much pressure on the knife, so you don't want to be cutting into the sheets. You're just putting a little bit. There we go. These are extras. These we're going to cut this way into individual cinnamon bun strips. So you can choose to go really wide, or you can choose to go skinny. I find about 3/4 of an inch to be pretty perfect, and that way you get a good 9 or 10 out of this. So just do it nice and quick. Now what you want to do is slightly separate them. Slide the knife in there and carefully separate them. There we go. Put a little bit of space between all of them so that you can get a little bit of a drying on the side. Now look how thick those are in the middle. You can see. Nice and beautiful. Alright, so we got them all cut up, and depending on how dry they are and how kind of dried out you want them, you can put them in the dehydrator from anywhere from 1 to 3 hours. You want them pliable enough that you can roll them and not wet enough so they'll fall apart. So these ones are going to need about 1.5 hours. Let's put them in. Alright guys, so we're back now. The buns have been in the dehydrator for a couple hours. They're pretty much ready, so we're going to make the paste and some of that icing. So To save you guys the time and hassle of watching me peel this out, I just basically used a spoon and scooped it out of there. Used a big machete to cut the coconut in half. You might just need to throw it on the ground or something like that, or you might just get some frozen jelly, but this is just 2 coconuts worth of jelly. We have the raisins, which are nice and plump from overnight, soaking in that coconut water. And I also pitted the dates to save you the hassle of watching me pit every single date and suck on them and eat a couple. So, without further ado, let's get into the icing first. Now I do the icing first for a reason, and you'll see that. So, pop off the top, dump that in there, and we're going to dump about half of the coconut raisin water in there. It's okay if a couple raisins go in there too. They can go in there. There we go. Alright, save a little bit of that water, and blend, blend, blend. Spread it out. I want to get it really smooth. There we go. Alright, so let's check that out. We already have some creamy icing there. It's really delicious, but we're going to add 2 dates, 3 dates, 4 dates. Boom. If you have access to sugar cane, you can use sugar cane in lieu of the raisin water, but the raisin water is really nice. You just want a really nice, creamy, sweet icing. If you're a little less picky about your ingredients, you could use some coconut sugar. I prefer to keep it all like this.
I want to try.
Could be a little bit sweeter, Jakey Poo, but... how is that, Jakey?
Tastes authentic.
Just do it to taste. Your taste. My taste. Your taste. At this point, if you wanted to get extra fancy, you could add some vanilla beans. Ooh, a little bit of vanilla icing. Ooh. You could add some carob to make some chocolatey icing. Ooh, whatever you like. Alright, so we have this beautiful icing. No, I'm not doing that. So, we'll pour the icing in here. Try and get a bunch of it off, but you don't have to be super meticulous. A little bit extra in there is an alright thing. We'll get most of this icing out.
Oh yeah.
Look at that icing. You want it pretty thick, you don't want it runny, so if you accidentally added too much of the raisin water in there, then bam, you might need to add some extra coconut. In lieu of coconut, if for some reason you just can't use coconut, you can't find coconut, you could just use water and some kind of a nut you love, like macadamia nuts or you know, cashews if you really like cashews, whatever you like. I prefer coconut. It's one of the most easily digestible fats, and it's just creamy and kind of more authentic tasting. Jake from Powered by Fruit behind the camera. Say hello, Jake.
Hi.
Show yourself.
Hi.
Are you afraid, Jake? As I mentioned, we have a little bit left in the container, and that's all right. That's part of the reason that I do the icing first, is to add now the yummy, yummy dates to the blender with just a bit of the icing. Boom. We'll add some cinnamon. Cinnamon to taste. I like a fair amount of cinnamon. And we'll add the rest of the raisin water, plus a little more water. There we go. So we'll start there. Blend it up. A little bit of coconut cream in there makes it just super ooey gooey, creamy, yummy filling. There we go. Oh my lord. Smell that, Jake. Smell that. Oh, that smells like cinnamon buns. From here you can tinker, you can touch, you know, some more cinnamon, you can put some nutmeg, you can put anything you want in them, but put all of this creaminess into this bowl. And then we'll get the plantain strips and roll them up into the cinnamon bun madness.
Yay!
Yay! Alright, so we just took this other dehydrator. They're in there for like another hour and a half, 2 hours, and you can see they're, you know, pretty pliable. They're pretty thick and cakey and delicious and soft. You know, you could easily rip them in half, so you gotta be a little careful with them. We got 10 of them here. We're just gonna take some of this beautiful thick, see how thick that is? Thick date paste. We're gonna spread it nicely on each and every one. Now, you start with a light coating to make sure that you evenly coat them all. So I wanted to mention, if you can't find burros or plantains, you can just use regular bananas, but you're gonna wanna almost double the chia and let it sit for about 10 minutes after blending so it really thickens up. That's the only way you're going to get close to making them as thick and fluffy as this. It's way better with plantains or burro bananas or quadrados or ice cream bananas. Any really thick and creamy banana. Red bananas would work too. So we got them all coated. You can see there's a nice light coating on all of them, right from the top to the bottom. And we put raisins. On the one end you put a little bit heavier with raisins, a couple, because that's going to be the center hole. So you want to make that nice and sweet and gooey. You just spread raisins just like ants on a log down the whole way. You don't have to be precise. If you like raisins you can use more. If you like them not much, then don't use too many.
We love raisins.
Yay, raisin power! Alright, we'll come in close here. We got it all spread out. Check this out. Got those little raisins all over there. They're all right. No, down here. Close in down here, Jakey. Alright, so you take this end that has the goop and the raisins, and you scoop that up. So that's the center. And then just roll. Roll. Roll it up. Roll it up. Roll it up. Right to the end. That's why you want that little bit there. Look at how goopy and delicious that is. You put this here now. Don't worry, it may start to unravel. And so what you want to do is roll the next one. Get it ready. Careful, so you want it to crack there, so you got to be careful. Roll, roll, roll. And then place the ends right near each other so that they can't open up. And just keep on keeping on. And we're going to put them back in the dehydrator so this all congeals and sticks together. Keep rolling, just keep rolling.
Action.
Alright, so we got them all perfectly rolled up. This is all 10 of them. You can see them all nice and juicy and raisiny. We have just a little bit of extra date paste, so you can throw a little bit on top if you like. This will kind of caramelize down and stick it all together. So now we'll pop these back in the dehydrator. They get way better if you put them in there for anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, depending on how dried out you want them. We're going to put them in there for about 2 hours.
Yay.
1:15, cool. There we go. When I've made these for retreats, we've made up to like 40 at a time. So again, it's about 10 every single Vitamix container. So you could probably make up to about 60 at a time, maybe even a little bit more. Pretty crazy. They freeze well. They're good. But you'll see the next step when they're ready. They're all ready to go. We're going to take them out, ice them, and it's time to eat them. Let's get in there.
Yeah!
There we go. Look at those babies. They look like whole wheat cinnamon buns. Let's go over here and ice them up. Woo! Boom!
It's a flower.
It's a beautiful flower. Let's put boom. A little bit of the icing on top. However you want, it'll actually kind of melt on there.
I like icing.
Make it as icingy as you want.
Is this good for the soul, Chris?
This is very good for the soul. Now there you have it. If you wanted, you could put them back in the dehydrator. It'll even sink down more, but they're ready to go. This is it. So if you want more delicious, sweet recipes like this, again, make sure that you check out therawadvantage.com, the link right below, and you'll get 2 free ebooks, including my super sweet treats, desserts you can make as full meals, delicious stuff. Some a little more complex like this, some super simple you can whip up in 5 minutes. Hope you like the rest of my videos here on the YouTube channel and back on the site at therawadvantage.com. Have a Cinnabon. This raw diet's so tough when you have desserts like this, and you can eat them as a meal. A couple of these, bam! Perfecto. Raw Advantage out, Cinnamon Bun love.
It tastes so much more like bread when you do it this way.
It tastes like bread, Jake? What is that? You like this? Powdered by fruit. What's going on? Jake, the man behind the camera. Where are you going? Jakey! What are you doing? Are you at the Farm of Life? Finca de vida.
Cinnamon Buns. The best Provenance in one's ever! Ooh, don't forget to click this link to get your 2 free ebooks, and plus check out my recipes playlist by simply clicking this box here. Ooh!
Excited to announce my new iPhone app, free with 101 frickin' awesome recipes, tier retreat treats, food combining charts, shopping carts, and more.
Look at that. Look at that. It's delicious. Delicious. It looks and tastes just like a cinnamon bun.
Sounds like you're saying like
I'm in love with it.
like